welcome to the Chrissy B Show. What's your memory like? Do you find yourself forgetting things very easily? Do you sometimes walk into rooms in your house and then forget why you went there, like I often do? Do you sometimes miss out on job opportunities because you're very forgetful? Incidentally, this month is Memory Month, and tonight's show is all about improving your memory. And we're joined by celebrity memory man Gianni Golfera, who is one of the most credited teachers and researchers in strategies of how to improve memory in the world. Also on the show tonight, we have Chris Brown for some more self-development tips. If you want to get in touch at any point during the show to share your views, you can tweet Chrissy B Show or Facebook The Chrissy B Show. You can also email on chris@chrissybshow.tv or call 020-7686-6300. So first, before we introduce our guests, let's go to this video of him first.
He might be blindfolded, but Gianni Golfera sees all. This Italian 25-year-old is demonstrating what he calls the art of memory. His audience randomly chooses 60 numbers. A volunteer reads them out. After one run-through, Gianni repeats them from memory. Then he does it again, backwards. Gianni claims to have memorized 261 books. He says he can recall every detail of every day of his life, starting from when he was younger than a year old. When we take in new information, like what we read in a newspaper, it goes into our brains through the hippocampus, where it's coded as memory. But how it's coded, where it's stored, and why are all still mysteries. So is the reason some people lose their memories, and why a rare few, like Gianni, never forget. Since the age of 11, he's been training his brain to remember more and more. He's memorized the library of a 16th century memory expert and practices constantly to improve his powers. His memory is a full-time obsession.
So let's meet the man himself, Gianni. Welcome to the show, Gianni.
Hi.
I'm so glad you could make it. So you've flown today from Italy, haven't you?
Yes.
So you're going to be here for a couple of weeks. So it's great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
So tell me, you were telling me earlier that you only started to get into this because of something that you experienced as a schoolboy. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. I started to have some difficulty in school when I was 11 years old. Mm-hmm. And I was reading and repeating, but I didn't learn anything. So I read an entire page, at the end of the page I can remember. Then I met a family friend, Andrea Vitali, professor. He's an historian of medieval age and also a researcher of ancient memory strategies. Mm-hmm. And he explained to me that the memory is something we can improve, not something we have by birth. So I start to study the ancient memory books, from the Greeks to the Renaissance.
And how old were you at the time when you started to do this?
11.
You were 11?
Yeah.
But most school children or schoolboys at that time would want to be out on their bike or playing football or something. What made you so motivated to actually go and start studying?
Because I was very, very worried about my memory. So for coming from this big problem, mm-hmm. I need a solution, and I found the solution inside the books, because step by step I acquired the information for develop my memory and also remember more and more, and at the end teach to the people how to remember. Okay,
so the gift, this gift that people say you have, because there's a lot of research being done about you.
Yeah.
But then you're saying that you weren't actually born with it. It's something that you developed because you actually trained your memory. So why are people still doing research on you?
Yeah.
They still think it's some kind of gene or
basically, when I start to demonstrate my memory, making experiment, it seems a miracle, a gift. Mm-hmm. So the research start to investigate my memory, hoping to find some strange memory genes.
And because they don't want to put the hard work in, so they're trying to find the reason why they don't have the same memory.
Yeah, and to find some miracle, some medicine, but no, it's not a memory gene, it's a method. And after training and using the techniques, I developed a new method, my own method, my memory method, and using it, it seems a miracle. But as a matter of fact, it isn't. It's just techniques. This is also the conclusion of the scientist. After 2 years of research in San Raffaele of Milano, the University of San Raffaele of Milan, they investigate my memory, and at the end of 2 years of research, they say the memory of Gianni is limitless, but is a method, and everyone can improve the memory using a similar method.
How much time do you actually spend, though, sort of trying to improve your memory? Is it something that kind of takes over everything, or do you have like a normal life? Like
no, I use the memory just when I need it. So when I study something, I use the method for learn. When I need to remember where I parked the car, for example, I use the method.
Or where you left your keys.
Or
like
a shopping list, or a people's name, or a new term in a foreign language, for example, I use the method. In the other cases of the life, I don't use it. But using it, when you need to use it, you start to make a habit to memorize something. Yeah. So we often forget, for example, where we put the key or the telephone. We have no habit to remember where it is or people's name. Using better the memory, you make a new habit to remember, and at the end, also if you don't use any techniques, you can remember.
Okay, so we're going to be putting your memory to the test a bit later on, just before the break.
Yeah.
But we were speaking also about students, because I was asking you before in the green room about whether if you get enough, if sleep is important and things like that, if that affects your memory and your diet and stuff. So you had some interesting things to point out there.
Yes, I can explain the scientific research. The last scientific research say that in the morning we have double memory, and most students, instead of studying during the morning, studying during the night, abuse of caffeine, sleeping on the book, but it doesn't work, because in the morning we have a double memory than in the night, because we sleep to acquire better the information, to re-elaborate, for make our brain more relaxed and ready for acquire new information, and also for neuroactivity during the night. For all that reason, the sleep is like a backup, like a computer backup. So when you wake up, your memory is ready for new information. That's the reason why my advice for students, of course, is start to study the new information during the morning, and do the exercise during the evening or the afternoon, because to sleep is important for better memory, and especially for a long-term memory.
Okay. Gianni, is it true that, because I was reading somewhere, that you recall the details of every single day of your adult life?
Most of the days of my life.
Doesn't that give you a headache? Isn't it? Is it like memory overload or something?
It seems to be, but I remember because I remember the emotion. Because basically the memory is an emotion. You remember the first kiss, for example, and some very important days.
Yeah.
So you activate your brain when you are emotionally involved. And after understand this key point, I can be involved in any kind of information I need. So I can remember in the same way the first kiss, or a poem, or a phone number, or a name, or what else.
Now, do you remember what you were doing this time on this day last year?
During this time and this day last year, yes, I remember.
Seriously?
Yeah, I have to spend 1 minute to focus, to go back, to find some point, and then because my birthday is 15 of July, and I go ahead. In August, I was in Hawaii for holiday. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So I'm useless at things like that. I need some lessons as well. Okay, so the kind of skills that you need to, because you've also memorized like whole speeches. Is that all to do with the emotion as well? Like trying to, because I'm finding it hard to understand, for example, if you find something really boring.
I understand.
And it's like something like numbers. It's like, how can you think of something like emotional to link it to?
You have to create an order in your mind. So the Romans call this system the Roman room method. So they visualize a different room inside the house. And for example, for remember a speech or an interview, they put inside every single room a key point in the argument. And then they imagine to go inside the house, first room, first argument. So in Italian we say often in the first room we say this and this. In second location we say this. In the last one location we say this. It's an old system to create an association between the visual memory and the abstract concept. So basically you divided the important question in an interview, for example, or in a speech, and then you put this key point, and starting from this key point you remember all the interview.
Now the test we're going to do tonight with you, we're going to obviously demonstrate the wonderful skills that you have. We're going to put you to the test with 60 single digit numbers. Now you have not seen these numbers before. This is the first time that you're going to see this sequence. So we're going to put it up on the screen for everyone to see, and you're going to take a look. We're going to go to a break, and then you're going to come back and you're going to read, and you're going to tell us those numbers first in order and then in reverse order. Okay. Right? Yeah, can we do that? Okay. So let's bring up the 60 numbers on the screen so Gianni can have a look. Do you want to walk over to the you can go to the screen. Yep. Okay, so while Gianni's doing that, we're going to go to a quick break and then come back, and we're going to have him blindfolded here on the sofa, and then he's going to recite all the numbers. So let's see if he can do it. See you after this break. Okay, we've just come back now. We're just come back from a break. We're just putting the blindfold on Gianni right now. Let's get our camera person to walk across. Okay, so I'm just going to give Gianni the first number of the sequence to get you started, yeah? Just the first one, which is 6. So let's get it up on the screen as well. Gianni, you can't see anything, can you? I think he's concentrating.
I start to explain the number?
Okay, let's just bring it up on the screen so the people at home can see.
Okay,
all right, so
the first repetition is just a check for check everything.
Okay.
Maybe possible I ask you something.
Okay,
just
no problem.
To be very, very sure, okay? And then I make the real experiment, repeating in the reverse order, and then in the future, whenever you like, also in the random order.
Okay,
it's okay?
That's fine, go ahead.
Okay, the first number is, I go from the first to the second one, the third one, and until the end. And if I make some mistake, please tell me.
I'll correct you.
The first one is the number 6, then 9, 4, 2, 0, 5, 2, 5, 7, 1, 8, 4, 5, 7, 1, 8, 3, 9, 3, 5, 3, 0, 9, 1, 7, 4, 2, 3, 1, 6, 5, 7, 3, 8, 8, 1, 4, 2, 9, 1, 9, 0, 3, 5, 4, 9, 2, 7, 6, 5, 8, 4, 7, 3, 1, 8, 8, 5.
Yes.
5, not 8, but 5, 3, 5, 3. And then proceed to the last one is 0, 4.
The last digit is?
The last digit, is 0, 6. 0, 6.
Oh my, I can't believe that. That's amazing. Well done. Okay, now I don't know how you're going to do this backwards.
Yeah.
But that was absolutely amazing.
I do the experiment in a reverse order.
Okay, you ready for that, or do you need some time to?
No, I'm just...
You ready?
Yeah. This was just a check for refresh everything. And now I can repeat in reverse order. And then whenever I like, I can repeat in a random order.
Okay.
And tell you the position between 1 and 16.
Okay.
In a reverse order, the number are 6, 0, 3, 5, 8, 1, 3, 7, 3, 8.
4, 8.
Sorry?
4, 8.
I lose the position. Just
again?
a moment. I prefer to start again.
Okay, go ahead.
Reverse order. Okay. Start for the end. I go back because I'm focused on the exact position.
Okay.
Okay. The last one is 6, 0. Then we have 3, 5, 8, 1, 3, 7, 4, 8. 5, 6, 7, 2, 9, 4, 5, 3, 0, 9, 1, 9, 2, 4, 1, 8, 8, 3, 7, 5, 6, 1. Okay, now we have 3, 2, 4, 7, 1, 9, 0, 3, 5, 3, 9, 3, 8, 1, 7, 5, 4, 8, 1, 7, 5, 2, 5, 0, 2, 4, 9, 6.
I'm absolutely gobsmacked. Well done.
Thank you.
That was amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay, you got to tell us now. Yeah.
Oh.
Just take that.
Okay.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Does that hurt? Not the blindfold, but trying to remember all those numbers. My gosh. And this is like a live show as well, so it's not like it's just like kind of relaxed. It's like under pressure as well. So that was excellent. Well done. So now you're going to tell us some secrets, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Even memorize the first line, maybe.
Basically, when we, for example, when we have to create a password for a computer, so you have to create a random digit number. This digit number is not random, but is your birthday, the birthday of your son, or a friend, birthday of a friend, some important data. So I create an association between a couple of numbers and an image in my mind.
So you had like a whole sort of story there?
Yeah,
like a whole...
I create a story during the experiment. So for example, if you wanna remember 3, 3, 1, 2, you can remember Jesus looking at the watch. Because 3, 3 is Jesus is dying in 33. And then you remember 1, 2, because in the watch we have 12 hours. So Jesus looking is 3, 3, 1, 2. And for every couple of digit number, I previously have created an association. Okay. And then I use like a chain system, associating the first one to the second one, the third one to the second one, and so on.
Now it sounds quite complicated, but it's obviously something that you have to practice. It's not something that you just get like that, right?
It's easier to remember a number because you already have the associations. For example, I associated the number 30 to the flowers, and when I need to remember the number 30, I remember the flowers. So in the position number 23 and 24, there are the number 30, and I put the flower in this particular location. So before it was explained to you the system of the ancient Roman rooms, and I use my house, and I put in my house many pictures to remember the numbers. So when I close my eyes, I go inside my house, I look around and I see the various strange picture I put inside. Why strange? Because if it's strange, your attention go up and your memory also
strange or
grow.
Funny or something.
Funny,
like,
I use an acronym, embassy, so exaggeration, big picture, movement, because if something is moving, your attention is stronger. Embassy, bizarre association, bizarre association, so stranger is better, and sentimental involvement, so not any kind of flowers, but a particular kind of flower. For example, in my mind, I use a rose, because when I was a baby, I have a rose at my house, so I remember these particular flowers.
So nice memories as well. So you obviously believe that anyone can improve their memory, because you also release books in Italy and then the ebook as well. Can you tell us a bit about that? Yes,
I believe definitely anyone can do the same, and it's very, very important. Believe in your memory, because you have to trust yourself and your brain.
Which is where a lot of people go wrong, right?
And then step by step, I can teach how to remember first people's name, then vocabulary, then list, any kind of list, and then speech, and then books. And I write an ebook, is more memory, because he explained how to improve your memory and also your attention, in order to acquire in just 1 hour what previously need 5 hours of hard study.
Imagine the possibilities and how much easier life will be to remember things better.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You gain also self-esteem, because remembering more, you gain also the esteem of other people, because people like confidence and also intelligence, memory.
How about fear as well? What part does that play? So say, for example, if someone's afraid of maybe failing because they can't remember things, does that actually block you from even getting your memory better, do you think?
What block
fear,
people?
Like fear,
the fear of people, the
or
fear of forgetting
of
something. Most
yeah.
people have fear to public speaking, for example, because this particular fear comes from the past, from the first bad experience in school. Because when kids are very young and have the first bad experience in front of the classroom, they start to be scared about the possibility of speaking in front of the other. These are the most important fear. The second in the United Kingdom, the second fear is the fear of the public and the public speaking, but is a fear concerning memory. Another problem is, for example, seems stupid, but it isn't. If you go in a dinner for work, for business, you meet many people. You are introduced to.
That's not my worst thing. The name.
You forget the name.
Forget the guest names.
You have someone in front of you, interesting for you, but you have some fear to ask something, because you say, if he realizes I don't remember the name, you think I am not interested in this person, but it's not true. Of course, it's a problem concerning memory. So for many reasons, when you acquire the possibility of remembering more and easier, you immediately you will be confident, and your possibility will grow.
Now, Gianni, before you go, I want to do another little test, because I've got the numbers here that were on the screen. So I'm going to ask you the numbers in a certain position now. So do you remember the number that's in position number 21?
Yes. Is 3.
Gosh.
And this 3 is close to the 0, 3-0, the example about flowers and zeros.
Oh, okay. All right, let me ask you another one then. In position number 51.
Number 51 is, just a moment, 8.
That's, I can't believe it. Yes, it's correct. It's great. Well done. I don't know what to say about, but it's so nice to know that, anyone can improve their memory, because like you've heard, and like we all know, it's awkward socially if you don't remember people's names, and it just helps to improve your life so much. So thank you so much, Gianni, for coming along to the show today, and good luck with your books and with the ebook and everything. And after the break, we're going to be joined by Chris Brown, who's also going to be sharing not some memory tips, but some other tips for self-development as well. So join us after this break. Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show. And we were just amazed by Gianni's abilities. And don't forget, you can also improve your memory if you really want to. We're going to be joined by Chris Brown in just a moment. But first, let's go to our Ladies That Lunch feature.
Here we are outside the Iznik restaurant, which is a Turkish restaurant, about to go inside and try some of their yummy food, or at least we hope it's yummy. You ready to go in?
Yes, let's go.
Let's go in.
Hi. Very nice to meet you. Hi. Would you like to take a seat?
Yes, that's great. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks. This is your wine and beverages.
Okay,
Thanks very much. I'll leave them. Thank you. Thanks very much. I am the very first person to create this, introduce this in this country 22 years ago, and it has become very popular and being used by very famous chefs in England under different names.
It's got hints of parsley. It's not too oily, it's just the right amount of oil.
Lots of color, lots of flavors, and we're hungry, aren't we?
Yes,
That's it. Yeah.
Nice.
It's really well cooked, tender.
Veg, it's very fresh tasting, quite light. So we've noticed the finer detail in the restaurant. You've got loads of little things, nooks and crannies, vases, cups, everything's got finer detail. Have you always sort of had it like this?
It has become very natural transition. I think this is the formula of just being ourselves.
Any town or village in Turkey where your food actually comes from?
The whole idea is based on the palace cooking, which revolves of the Ottoman palace. I think every town in Turkey has its own specific dishes and cuisine, which is so unique and so beautiful.
So if you'd like to check out the menu for this restaurant or any further information, please visit www.iznik.co.uk.
Really shouldn't play these videos at this time of night because I always get really hungry. Now I just want to go home and eat. But first we have Chris Brown with us. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening,
That's why
Chrissy.
you were really impressed by Gianni there.
I was really impressed by Gianni. I was going to ask about my old accounts and everything like that as well at the same time. No, I thought it was really good because to actually be able to do that, it must build your confidence as well as an individual. And we all go through life thinking, oh, I forgot this, oh, I forgot that, forgot my keys, everything.
Forgot your wife's anniversary.
Oh, well, I'm not allowed to. I'm not allowed to. Right. But today we're going to talk about pessimism.
Okay.
Yeah? No? You pessimistic people?
Yes.
Yeah?
Come across
we come
a few in
across
my
in
life.
life. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure...
And I've been pessimistic myself before.
I was just going to say
I
that.
have to admit to that because, you know.
I'm sure we've all had a time being a bit pessimistic because of the situation. But what we're going to talk about is the ABC of pessimism. Right. Now, think about it, the ABC of pessimism. We're talking about people who see things from a pessimistic point of view and how to actually challenge that. When you think about it, a pessimistic person, get my teeth in, right, you know, a pessimistic person tends to see things in a negative way. Something happens and they tend to think, well, that's the rest of their life. To give you a scenario, let's put it into a work scenario. You've got somebody who says, well, they go to their boss, they show them a report they've worked on all night or so. And the boss likes the report and turns around and says, I think you should change just this bit and that bit. To that individual, they walked away and thought, well, hang on, my boss didn't like it. I'm not good at what I do. It's not really worth it. Oh, they're going to sack me the next time they see me if I don't get it right next time. Put undue pressure on themselves and get very pessimistic about it. Whereas somebody who's more optimistic, they'll probably see that report and think, wow, that was great. They advised me on how to actually do better. Oh, maybe that bit I need to change and get on with next time. I can learn from this. So sometimes we fall into those categories like pessimistic or optimistic. But
I think it's got a lot to do with maybe a person's upbringing, maybe because perhaps the parents would say maybe negative things to that child, and then they grow up and any little thing that someone says to them, instead of, because look, if the whole report is really good and there's just a couple of points that, you know, you were pulled up about, what's the big deal? But for a person that's maybe had negative comments all their life and then they hear that, that probably destroys their confidence, even though it's something quite small.
Chris, you're completely right. Back to what we were saying earlier on, he was talking about association. A lot of things that we associate when we were younger, we're still kind of connected to in one way or another. And if you are a person who's been told off, laughed at in school, made fun of. Yes, that does come up now and then. So what we're talking about here is the pessimism of it, the ABC, right? Now, when we talk ABC, I'll actually give it an abbreviation now. We're talking about A here. We're talking about adversity. When you come up with adversity, I'll go through each one first of all, and then we'll actually break it down. The A, we're talking about adversity. The B, we're talking about belief. The C, we're talking about consequences. So to break that down, what we're saying is, A, you go for a situation, it's an adverse situation. It's going to have an effect in one way or another, according to your own personal beliefs and how you see things or how you've been brought up, matched to what you just said. There are consequences of C in how you actually deal with it. So we got the A, the adversity, we got the B, the belief, and we got the C, the consequence. Now, in saying that, back to that same scenario I said, the A was the adversity of actually doing that report and feeling good about it. The belief was associated to how, just as you said, how that person was brought up, how they actually view that situation.
Yeah.
The C, how they handled it, feeling that they're going to lose their job and all these things that are going to go on. But the reality behind it, none of these are really existing. Most of it is actually happening in the head instead, how you actually picture it. Now, what we need to do is to know how to actually counterattack this.
Yes, definitely,
Right?
because
Yeah.
if you have been like that all your life, and then it does, because it does affect your whole life, really, doesn't it?
Of course,
So you
we've
have-
all been there,
Yeah.
in one way or another. I can actually associate with that in the past as well, right? But when we talk about the C, when we talk about the D of that, we're talking about areas that can actually get rid of it and attack it. Now, there's one way we talk about distribution, right? Or we can, no, let's talk about more about distribution. Distribution in the sense that you need to get rid of the dialogue that actually goes in your head. You need to dispute it completely. It's the dialogue that actually does it that says,
Oh,
well,
maybe my
I'm
boss
no
doesn't
good.
like me. Maybe he's got it in for me. Maybe someone gossiped
Exactly.
about me. Maybe they've got a conspiracy because they want to get rid of me at work.
Oh, completely right. So what we got to do is reverse that. We got to tell ourselves another kind of dialogue.
Yeah.
We got to talk about how good we are. We got to look at it. But it's no good saying to somebody, oh, don't be negative. Because you can say, don't be negative, but at the end of the
Don't
day,
know how not to be negative.
and it impounds it more. They think, well, I mustn't be negative, mustn't be negative. So I'm thinking about not being negative, being negative. So you've got to put a real situation to hand and look at what is good instead. What is good about that scenario? Why am I being pessimistic about it? Why am I going down that road? You've got to change it from pessimism to optimistic, being optimistic about situations. So if we were to turn that situation around, as I said, boss looked at it, looked at the report, thought it was good. See, that person didn't actually hear the bit where the boss said, that's a good report. All they heard was how bad it is, right? So you've got to think about that. Well, that's really good. All I need to do is fix that part only. So from there, consequences, be pretty confident in the way you deal with things after that, because you'd hit another level. So there's a complete difference, and that's when we're talking about the ABC of it, but we add the D. I can add on top of that an E as well. So we get a bit further. We'll get the whole alphabet out by the end of this, won't we?
At least we remember the alphabet, Chris.
We remember the
Nothing
alphabet.
else.
Right.
Yeah, go.
Well, the E is energizing, putting the positive into everything that you actually do. So when we energize it, we already dissipated the rest of it. We reversed it instead. So the energy you've actually got behind it and looking at what you do in a positive way is going to have a positive outcome. Going back to the consequences, you'll move up, move forward, go ahead.
That's great. You know what? This can be applied obviously to any situation, because I don't know if you've ever been in this kind of the situation as well, where you say hello to someone and they don't answer back, they don't answer you. So what the first thing you'll think is, oh, that person's ignoring me, they don't like me, and all these negative thoughts come
dialogue.
first of all. But if you immediately, like you're saying, change that around and say, think, okay, why did this person maybe ignore me? Perhaps they didn't even see me. That's what happens sometimes. Perhaps they're having a bad day. They were just thinking about something. You know, it could be anything. So you have to. Why not think of the more positive things and like what it actually could be, rather than immediately assume that it's something bad and it's something against you, because that shows like a lack of confidence in yourself.
It's a lack of confidence, and it's how you view yourself overall. I mean, this was actually put together. This wasn't put together by myself. I'd love to say it was. This was actually put together by Dr. Albert Ellis back in 1955, dealing with people's emotions and how they do the behaviourist instead. And when you look at that, just as you said, you could put that in any area or any situation and look at yourself and see, well, look, did I really need to go through that?
Yeah.
You know, does friendships get split because of that?
Relationships
Sometimes,
as well.
relationships break because of that. But when you look back at it, was it really what you saw? Did that really happen?
Yeah.
Or was it what you
It's a
added
figment
to
of the
it?
imagination.
You've got a whole film going on in your head and you've got the end of it already.
So you keep the film and all the stuff for the memory things and not for the things that you need to, you know,
Exactly,
as well.
exactly.
Because we've run out of time, unfortunately, but thank you so much for sharing those
It's been a
tips
pleasure.
with us. And thank you guys for watching. We do have to go now, but Friday's show will be about expressing yourself. And then we'll look into how we as individuals express ourselves with possible strong influences from our culture and society as a whole. Thanks for staying with us tonight. Take care. And we're going to be showing you a funny YouTube video of today.